Good evening, everyone. Good evening. It is Friday, March 22nd, 2019. I'm Dave Guerra. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. This is Let's Have a Chat Friday edition. It's Forbes Friday. That's right. Ripped from the headlines of Forbes magazine, the Forbes website, the Forbes email newsletters. Folks, if you haven't signed up for those newsletters, give it a whirl. Give it a whirl. Give it a shot. They're good stuff. It's good stuff. Lots of good stuff. And again, very topical, very current events, and they go deeper. So that's even better, because when you ask a question, you definitely want an answer. And so you want to dive in a little deeper. That being the case, let's move on. So today's episode, I'm going to talk about the continuing saga of Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos, and how people continually fall for the good old too good to be true promises or schemes or scams. And it happens all the time. Why does this happen? Why do people fall for these schemes and these scams? Because everybody wants to hope. Everybody has hope. Everybody wants to believe that, hey, maybe they're getting in on the ground floor of something good. And sometimes when they do get in, they get out a little too early, or they get out too late. So again, it's one of those situations. But in this case, it was never too early. And the moment this whole Theranos thing started ramping up, it was already too late. By that point, it was already too late. Briefly, if you don't know what's going on with that or what happened with that, Theranos, Elizabeth Holmes, in her company, Theranos, they promised to develop this box. And it was a medical testing equipment. It was highly portable, and it could be found located anywhere. It was going to be cheap. And it promised to deliver up to 300 blood tests from a single drop of blood. And I was like, wow, well, that sounds interesting. It could be, the time might have been right, because this technology is changing, and the internet is driving that. So the competition, and it's driving technology to change, to go forward, to become smarter, to become agile, to become smaller at the same time it's doing it. So theoretically or hypothetically, it was possible for it's possible for a machine to exist that could perform up to 300 blood tests from a single drop of blood. However, the problem here is that they didn't deliver. They were having problems right from the get-go, that if the blood sample wasn't set just right, it wasn't going to return anything. And it's a single drop of blood. I get it, but 300 test results. I mean, right now, I know for a fact there are glucose meters that take that one drop of blood and will yield you an errant return on blood sugar values. And then you take the same test again within minutes, and again, it's another extreme, and so on. So it varies. They can't even get a simple glucometer to give you a solid reading. What makes anybody believe that that one tiny machine, one box, small box, is going to yield 300 test results from a single drop of blood? It's not going to happen, and it didn't happen. And so what happened is the company failed. She got in trouble. Fraud charges were brought on this, and now, so this is a cautionary tale, and it's a cautionary tale that lives and thrives throughout the healthcare industry. And that being said, well, there's a book now. There's a book out, and it's a bestseller. And now there's going to be a motion picture based on that book, again, on the life of Elizabeth Holmes, and what got her to where she got to, and what made the collapse of Theranos happen. There's this huge podcast that's out there all about. It's called The Dropout. And ABC News, I want to say it's Rebecca Jarvis. She leads that podcast, and very great, very informative. And now HBO is doing a documentary, and it's just, again, reminding everybody that, hey, just because something is too good to be true, it probably is. It probably is. So, folks, it's easy to buy into the wishful thinking. It's easy to buy into, well, the promises of someone. She's pretty, she knows her stuff, she has a great mind, she went to college, she did everything she needed to do. But when it came time to deliver, she had the money, she raised that money, she raised that capital, but when it came down to deliver, there was nothing there to deliver. So what does that say about leadership, her leadership? It was a scam, so there was no leadership to begin with. Sure, she was a good talker. I think we talked about this. She was a great motivator. We talked about motivation yesterday. She was a great motivator. She inspired people. She got people moving. She got people thinking. Heck, she got national chain drugstores to buy into this, and that they wanted to perform these tests there at their locations all over the country. Great idea. If it had worked, if it had execution, imagine just how many lives could be saved. But it was about the greed. It was about the money. It was about getting over on somebody, because at some point you realize what you're doing. At some point you know what you're doing something wrong, and you try to pull the wool over the eyes of the people, and you'll get away with it maybe the first time. Like they say, you can fool some of the people some of the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. And so you get caught, and that's what happened here. She got caught. And folks, from experience in my life, there's going to be people like that. And I'm more than sure you've had those people in your lives. They talk a good game, but when it comes time to deliver, oh, they'll pass the buck. They'll blame somebody else. They won't accept they won't be accountable to themselves and accept the responsibility that they need to accept. But they're quick to point out that other people do that. They're quick to point out that, hey, somebody else's fault, it's not my fault. Folks, that's not where it's at. Accepting responsibility, taking the blame, taking the hit. If she had done that, people would see her in a much different light, and more than likely they would have helped her get back on her feet and still try to deliver on the promise of the 300 test results from a single drop of blood. But that's not the case. That's not what happened here. And unfortunately, she's paying the price, and the price is that she serves as a warning to an entire industry, to an entire to the entire sector of doing business, but it also serves as a warning to us not to fall for those scams, not to fall for those too good to be true situations, not to fall for a pretty face. No. Or a really fantastic looking PowerPoint, because that's not what's going to deliver. You have to see the content there for it to happen. You have to show me the product. Don't worry about the money. Show me the product. Show me the end result, and then we'll talk money. So folks, again, don't fall for those schemes. Think things through. Ask questions. Deeper dive. Go in deeper. Ask more questions. Figure out what's going on. Figure out and break it down yourself, because if they can't explain it to you, then it's not real. It's just that simple, because they don't even understand it. So with that being said, folks, thanks for your time. It is Friday, March 22nd, 2019. This is the Forbes Friday edition of Let's Have a Chat. I will talk to you on Monday, and that's our Sports and Leadership edition. Have a great one. Thanks a lot. Leave your comments below, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great weekend. Take care. Talk to you soon.